Yes, West Ham Network, it is time to take a look at some of your predictions from the start of the season and see how many you got correct, as well as how many didn't quite work out as expected. You're not going to want to miss this one. Hello West Ham Network, it's Holly. I hope you're all well. If you enjoy this video, drop us a comment below, give us a thumbs up, and of course make sure you're subscribed to the West Ham Network. Now, at the start of the season, I asked 10 different questions for you to give your predictions on. Some were pretty straightforward, while others left a lot more room to the imagination, shall we say. So today, I'm going to be running through all 10, as well as some of your predictions. We've got the best, we've got the worst, and we've got the funniest. So the first question that I asked you was who was going to be the top goal scorer. This was, of course, Jarrod Bowen, ending the season with 16 goals, finishing head and shoulders above the rest, with the second highest being Kudus, who got 8, and then Souček and Ward-Prowse with 7 goals. Quite a few of you got this right, including Kaosi here, so well done to Kaosi. Now, you'll see a common theme that at the time, people thought Maguire and McTominay were heading to West Ham, as well as Paqueta potentially leaving at that point. And you're also going to see that as a result, expectations were not particularly high, as you can see from Mark's comment here. And trust me when I say this, he was not the only one with a very similar opinion. So we also asked who would be Hammer of the Year. And after a season in incredible form, this was also Jarrod Bowen. Now, a lot of you predicted this correctly, including Wesley, but other guesses included Benrahma, Fabianski, Aguerd, and Maguire, amongst others. The next question was the most cards given to a West Ham player. So Souček and Alvarez were very popular choices, as you would have expected. And it ended up, of course, being Edson Alvarez, who loves a yellow card. He ended on 11. He was followed closely by Emerson and Paqueta, who also quite like a yellow card, both ending on 10. And Souček, what we didn't expect, to be honest, he only ended up with 7 cards. And then it was actually time to predict where we would finish in the Premier League. We ended up 9th after a steady decline throughout 2024. Did pretty well points-wise at the start of the season, missing out on European spots, but still actually exceeding a lot of people's expectations, which can only be a good thing in terms of attracting players this summer. As you can see, most people predicted a finish between around 14th and 16th place, but we did have a correct prediction of 9th from Ted here. So massive well done to Ted. If he has the lottery numbers, as always, please do let us know in the comments below. We can share it around, it's fine. Then up next, it was a question of where we would finish in the Europa League, FA Cup, and Carabao Cup. So for the Europa League, we got knocked out of the quarter-finals, losing 3-1, as I'm sure we remember, on aggregate to Bayer Leverkusen. In the FA Cup, we had the third round exit, losing to Bristol City in disappointing fashion, which was a lot earlier than every single prediction that we had. So that was a bit of a shock. And in the Carabao Cup, we went out in the quarterfinals against Liverpool, losing 5-1, which Kaosi again predicted. Great work, Psychic Kaosi. So most improved player is one that's definitely down to opinion, but a lot of people said Ings, Cornet, or Mabama. In my opinion, I think Souček was most improved because he went from everybody basically wanting him gone to being our third top goal scorer, which is no easy feat. Bowen is another player. He could potentially be in with a shout, having scored 10 more goals than he did last season. But although we thought he was pretty good last season, I think because of that, a lot of people probably wouldn't have put him forward as most improved because he wasn't one that desperately needed to improve. So it would have been a bit of an odd one to have guessed. But Ings was another one that a lot of people did say, which wasn't a bad shout at all, probably who I would have said this time last season. But it did not happen, unfortunately. Then we asked the fun question, wanting your maddest predictions of the most random thing to happen over the course of the season, and you did not disappoint. JJ here predicted Moyes winning the Europa League, getting us into the Champions League, and us becoming long-term top 4 challengers, with Moyes delivering exciting football for years to come. Remember, we said no judgment, and this is exactly what we wanted, the mad predictions. We also had a prediction of Paqueta refusing to leave West Ham for Man City, becoming an instant legend due to the love that he receives from the fans. But then, and I need to draw your attention actually to this set of predictions because this was definitely the closest, and it's by Adam the Architect. He predicted 8th in the league, which is one position up where we finished from 9th. He predicted quarterfinals in the Carabao Cup, making a second correct guess. But the most impressive of all predictions was that he accurately predicted that James Ward-Prowse would score directly from a corner, which he did do, of course, against Wolves. And he also predicted the potential return of the Pigeons, which we did not see, unfortunately, which makes me very sad. But there is always next season. I do miss those lovely, lovely Pigeons of the London Stadium. And finally, I asked you how long you thought Moyes would last. Some went very specific. So as you can see, we had 2nd of October expecting a mid-season sacking, while quite a few thought correctly that Moyes would see the season out. So a common theme from your predictions that we would be in a relegation scrap, which I am really, really happy to say that we didn't end up being anywhere close to a relegation scrap, which is nice relief, isn't it, as a West Ham fans? We've had far too many where from the start of the season, you're kind of just counting down how many weeks to 40 points. Still found myself kind of doing it because it's kind of like a milestone for us, but it was just nice to not be stressing about the relegation zone. Instead, we're just stressing about sliding down the table and out of European spots, so it's never stress-free. Yeah, I'm happy to say that we were not in any sort of relegation scrap. We might have disappointed with the way that we played, but as you can see from these comments, hopes were not high whatsoever, and the relegation battle, it wasn't a thought really at any point this season, which is always a very pleasant surprise. So there we have it. Those were your predictions from the start of the 2023-24 season. We had some correct ones. We had some very incorrect ones. We had lots of funny ones. So keep an eye out for the next predictions video before next season begins. We're going to be doing it all over again, so you can tell me what you think is going to happen. Hopefully some of you can get them right again, because some of you are very good at this. Very, very good. You'll be able to put your psychic powers to the test. But that's all from me for now. Have an amazing day. And until next time, you know what I'm going to say. We always sign off with it. We can't not sign off with it. Enjoy. Come on, you Irons.